joining me, please let me know with either a thumbs up or a thumbs down whether or not my mic is working. And if you can't hear me, please let me know. I will definitely make some adjustments. Thank you for being here. And if you are new to my live, I am so excited you're here. I can't believe it's already August. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Whoever's here joining me, that would be amazing. So helpful, and one of those things that sometimes I can't check myself, so let me know if you can hear me. So it's good to see you. Okay, can you guys let me know in the chat whether this is working or not? If it's not, just say, boo, it's not working. Let me know. I'll have to check with my audio. It's really hard for me to tell. So let me know. I'm going to just skip on over to YouTube and see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you. All right. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Hang on one second. I'm going to double check my speaker. Okay, good. So you can hear me okay? Yay! Well, that is a good thing. It's a good day. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. I'm so excited you're here. Happy Friday. I feel like I should have a big drum roll, you know? I was not here last week. Thank you guys. And I really missed you. And that the show is back on August 1st. I'm so excited. I can't wait to do this live. Hi, Christy. Hi, everybody joining. Welcome. I'm so excited everyone's here. Again, if you are new to my live stream, welcome. My name is Carrie Koss. I am a sacred, hello. I'm a sacred feminine mentor and a medium. And so every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I go live right here on YouTube. And we do a couple of different types of readings. And so we're going to talk about that today, but I'm just wanting to find out how everyone's doing. How are we feeling about this big Leo energy? It's quite something, I must say. I've been noticing in my own energy that I feel like a mixture of excited, but also calm. But I also feel like it's a bit of a calm before the storm, if I'm honest. You know, I listen, I just did a channeled message on Instagram, actually. And with the message I was getting, and my guides usually are not necessarily this strong when they start out a reading them, but they said, this is not going to be an easy month. And so I thought, okay, we're going to just have to go with that because I'd rather tell people what is possible and what they can look for and how they can work possibly on their own growth, their spiritual practice and things of that nature so that they can be prepared. And here's the thing, you know, spiritual growth and development. Yeah. Somewhat. This is the comments we're already getting here. Can you see that? It's like you love the energy, but then you also know it's challenging. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm noticing energetically. And I know astrology has its own place in this completely. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. So excited you're here. Thank you for coming tonight. Very excited. We are just getting started, so you're in perfect time. Thank you for being here. So here's the thing. What my guides are really giving me is this sense that we do need to be prepared, that we, especially those of us who consider ourselves on our spiritual path, this is a time of expansion. And we know that when we're in a time of expansion, that there is growth, and growth is not always comfortable. So if you have the mindset of being a growth-minded spiritual practitioner, even if it's just in your own life, then when the shifts come and you feel them, you'll have a better sense of the possibility of how to handle them. And a lot of the work that I'm offering everyone right now are little spiritual practices and healing rituals, things like that, that you can incorporate into your life without getting overwhelmed, without feeling pressured, but that will make a big difference because we do need to be prepared that we are in a place of expansion and that we're going to need to take out probably more time this month to work on healing. So I really want to let that be known. That's exactly what my guides have been telling me, and you're not going to be able to stuff this down. That's what they're saying. So I'm going to get started with our reading. So if you're new, first of all, I'm so excited you're here. And if you're new, you've never been on my channel, I would love it if you could just become part of the community. We're always here to support. Feel free to engage. It really helps the channel. So if you would go back, watch some of the videos from the past readings I've done and watch the education, watch some of the other live streams. There's boatloads of really good wisdom in there. And it really helps the channel. So if you like, if you share, if you follow, it just makes it easier for me to come on and give you more of the same. So I really want to reference that. And I recommend that you just jump right in and get to know us. Okay. So every Friday when I come live at this point, what we're doing is, because again, I am a priestess. I'm a rose priestess, Magdalene rose priestess. And so I work a lot with a group of goddesses. And then sometimes we have new goddesses that come in and make an appearance. And so every week, what we start out with is a message from the goddesses, and we see which one is available to us, who is part of one of the ones that we work with. Now, typically, we always work with all the goddesses we work with are in open pantheons. So that means we're not going into a closed practice, which you do find that there are goddesses who work with just certain practitioners from certain lineages, and we respect that. And we don't appropriate that. And then we also try to give a lot of education about the goddesses. We're not just here to skim over their history or to cherry pick. We're here to really learn about them and respect them because they're coming forward. And so I tend to look at the resources I can, even during the live, to give as much context as possible. And then I always encourage everyone to dive in themselves and do the research. And so that's what this community is all about. The other thing is we are going to be doing Akashic Records messages. And if you've never heard of the Akashic Records, essentially, this is really the book of your life, the library of the soul. It has all of the history of your soul, every lifetime ever lived, and everything in between. And so when we tap into that energy, we're tapping into the field of expansion and greater consciousness, and also into timelines that are very much beyond time and space. So they're timelines, and we can move and look even throughout history, past lives, things like that, past timelines. But it gives us also a place where we can work on healing things around them. The energetics connected to healing. We can't change things that have happened before, but we can change the energy around them. So there's a big change there. Okay. The other thing I did want to let everybody know, something I'm starting to open up here in this space, is I'm going to offer mini readings. So if anybody did want to ever come and get a mini reading, that will be available after we do this portion, after the first half hour. The readings will be $30, and they're really a mini reading. So anybody can do that. If you're wondering about how to pay for that, all the links are found in my profile, easy to find. So that's really everything that you could possibly need to know, you can find on my page. Okay, so I'm going to just close my eyes. I want you guys just to relax, open up your energy. I'm going to see who's here. We're also today going to be working with these rods, which I know many of you know about dowsing. So dowsing rods specifically are made of, let me just put this so I can show you a little more. So they're made of copper, and they carry a conduit so that we tap into what we call the subconscious, but also we're really tapping into the energy of the spirits that are around us, because the energy of the spirits around us, it's a higher frequency. It's a little bit more subtle than what we had. Hello. It's a subtler energy. So what happens is, because of the sensitivity of the rods and the way they're designed, we can actually pick up on those energies and get communication. And so the goddesses wanted me to bring forth these today so that we can communicate with them. I think it's just a really good evidence-based gesture to communicate with them. It also provides a real tangible thing that you can do. So I highly recommend them. They also are almost near impossible for you to navigate them. They're put on a cylinder that rotates by very sensitive, motion and energy. So you can't like flip your wrists and make them go subtly. It just doesn't work like that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set the energy here, and then I'm going to tap in. I want to say, okay, so for all of the guides who are here to help us today, for the highest good of myself and also the collective that's here, can you please let us know that you're here? So if you could also indicate, what does yes mean for this particular. Okay, so yes is in the center. And then can you show us no, please? Oh, that was easy. Okay, excellent. All right, I'm going to move back a little. So I'm going to tap in and see who's here and move forward. Okay, everybody? So just go ahead and relax and let's enjoy. I already got a name. Okay, so this is a Norse goddess. I already got that. And I think this is Skaldi. So let me tap into her energy. So this is very interesting because there's two things going on with her energy. The first thing is, the Norse goddesses tend to be very, very empowered. They are assertive. They have a sense of being scrappy, resourceful, earthy, of course. And they also have a sense of really asserting themselves when the time's right. And then as they work with you, they then also tend to assert their connection with you, so that this goddess is putting herself forward with a really brave, like almost like a power and a passion. I'm really feeling a sense of her heart chakra coming through, and this powerful sort of Norse gnosis about how to be in the world, but not of it. And also about how to incorporate your spiritual practice into your everyday life. This has been a theme that's been running through my consciousness and things I'm going to be really bringing forth. So stay tuned for that. I'm right now working on something behind the scenes, which I'll be putting up for people to be able to purchase, which I think will help with this tremendously. More to come about that later. But Skaldi is very, she's heart-centered, but she's extremely no nonsense. And she's also talking about, with all of you, she's talking about, she's giving me the symbol of feet. And she's saying, even with her, she's showing me with her wearing almost like sandals or a very light footwear. And then she said, sometimes you have to go through difficult things, even the ground which you're walking on, which don't always feel comfortable. And she's saying, this is the theme again, things are not always nice. Things are not always easy. Some things are very hard. And what the hardness does is it chips away at the parts of you that feel as though you can't do something, that feel as though there's a defensiveness here. And it's time for you to stand up. So let me get her card. So again, I'm pulling this from this beautiful deck. This is the European Goddesses and Oracle deck. This deck is very special. People who've been with us before know this deck. It is the creator of these cards did a lot of research and about these goddesses. Just a second. And so, and on their history, how they were honored, and their myth, and some of their aspects and things that are equated and aligned with them. So I'm going to pull up Skaldi's information. I love I also feel like she's a mage. So she works with people who are magical practitioners. Scotty. Yeah, I think we had her before. Remember, we had her like about 6 weeks ago. Yeah, she's coming in again, and she's got her bow and arrow. So Let me pull her picture up. We just had her. I think just probably like, yeah, about a little over a month ago she came in, Scotty. Okay, this is what's a good thing is that when we get our same goddesses, it just shows that that for this collective and for the goddesses I work with, that's showing a longer relationship. And I'll tell you more about my practice right now with Hecate, because she's been really having me narrow my focus a lot, and for a lot of reasons. And I'm almost kind of excited that one of the ones we've already worked with is circling back. Yes, it's Scotty. Okay, and she is one of the Norse goddesses, and we've worked with her before. So I'm going to bring, here she is. Yeah, she's got the bow and arrow, and she's coming out ironically around winter time. So we love that. So here's Scotty. And again, every week, this is what we do. We always read about her. I connect in with her energy. Maybe today we'll also do, and you guys can feel free to drop questions in here. We'll also use the dowsing rods with her to communicate further with her. So as I'm giving you this information during this, I want you guys to think about, and we're going to, I forgot to do this. We forgot to say thank you because it's been 2 weeks. So before I put Scotty up, we want to thank, of course, who? Epona, remember she was here, one of the Welsh goddesses from 2 weeks ago. And also I want to say, Amber, I'm about to mail off your deck. I had a few little hiccups this last 2 weeks. And then of course we had Mary Magdalene, who is always here. So we want to say thank you so much to them, blessings. And we'll put Scotty up on the wall here, up with us. This is what we do every week. Okay, is everybody ready for some of this information? So these are her themes, okay? And this is what the theme is. It's focus. The theme is focus. Do you guys remember that? This is what I was just saying as I'm tapping into her energy, and what I've been getting already for the energy for August 2025 is, as I'm doing it, is that this is a time that this is going to be a challenging month. And so it is going to require a little more of our focus and to be able to put things to the side that do not resonate. Okay, so let's get started. So Scotty is a Jotun, which we don't know what that is. So we'll have to have someone look that up, which is spelled in Norse Jotunn. Maybe somebody can look that up. They might explain it here. From Norse mythology. She is attested in the Poetic and Prose Edda. So whenever you hear that information, Edda would be similar to like in Greek, when you're a Hellenic polytheist, you look at the Orphic hymns. If you are a Norse practitioner, you're looking at the Prose Edda. That's one of the things. And I think that's correct. I'm happy to be corrected if that's wrong. So, and then this says from the Heimskringla in a various skaldic works. As a goddess of bow hunting and winter, she's associated with skiing, mountains, and death by injury. Wow, let's keep going. A little drama, right? The meaning of Scotty's name is unclear. Her name is possibly related to the Old Norse noun skadi, meaning harm. Some scholars connect to the original name of Scandinavia, thus rendering it Scotty's island. Others disagree and link it to the Old High German Skado, or shadow, thereby proposing a connection between Scotty and the underworld. Her major attribute is a wolf, a common symbol she shares with other giantesses of the underworld. In the binding of Loki, this is going to be an interesting thing because I believe what's being said here in her myth is that she bound Loki. And if you think about Loki, he's literally a god of chaos. I think I'm going to have to get the Prose Edda, you guys, for us to be able to work with, so that we can continue learning about, because we're working a lot with these goddesses and gods, and so we want to make sure that we are learning as much as we can, again, about their myth. So let's continue. So Scotty places the serpent and drips venom above him. This links her to another animal that is symbolic of the underworld. That is fascinating. Let me read that again. So her major attribute is a wolf, a common symbol she shares with other Norse giantesses in the underworld. In the binding of Loki, Skadi places the serpent and drips venom from above him. That links her to another animal that is symbolic of the underworld. In myth, Skadi becomes a goddess by marriage. Originally born a frost giantess, she loses her father, Tiazi, due to his involvement in the abduction of Idun. When Skadi learns of his death by the hands of Aesir, she marches into Asgard, which you know that's like their Olympus, right? Dead set on avenging him. Instead of fighting her, the gods offer her compensation, and Skadi marries Njord, the god of the sea, as part of the deal. The marriage is complicated because Skadi wants to live in the mountains, while Njord wants to reside close to the sea. The couple compromises to spend a dedicated amount of time in each place, and then alternate between them. However, in the Njanga saga, Skadi is described as leaving Njord and marrying Odin instead. Odin. Together they have many sons, one of them being Seimingur, a king of Norway. Okay. Maria Kivog points out a possible connection between Skadi and Idun. Like several other Norse goddesses, they may have split up from a common origin. In their case, this could be the Iron Age goddess Nihalinia, who unites both Skadi's grim, dark elements and Idun's bright, gentle attributes into one entity. Okay, so are we ready for, like, what are we learning about here? Okay, so here's the thing with her. She's saying Skadi is her whole thing is boundaries. Okay, in this case, in this aspect of her. She's a resolute goddess who clearly communicates what she wants. After her father's death, she openly confronts Aesir, demanding compensation. In the marriage to Njord, she does not shy away from asserting her needs. Skadi knows how to make her expectations clear and how to set boundaries. Setting boundaries means establishing a basic set of guidelines for healthy interactions with other people. Their designation, what behaviors you deem acceptable or inadequate, or how you are going to respond when someone crosses the line. Boundaries can often look different, depending on various factors, such as social situation, past experience. Okay, so here we go. How do you define personal boundaries? Do your boundaries feel balanced, or do they need adjustment? Are they too open or too rigid? Skadi challenges you to reflect on your sense of agency over your physical and mental space, your body and your feelings. If you find yourself frustrated or stressed after agreeing to something, this is important, or being frequently disappointed by people and endlessly ruminating about past situations in your head, it may be time to redefine your boundaries and act on them. Establish what is important to you and pay close attention to your emotions and reactions. Setting healthy boundaries can be hard, and maintaining them can be even more challenging. Skadi can be a supportive partner in your endeavors. Call on her to lend you some of the assertive and confident energy. Remember that no is a complete sentence. Trust in the process. Be gentle, patient with yourself. Okay. So she's here for boundaries, but let's ask her some questions because are you guys ready? Okay, so I want you to think about, you can ask her anything, okay? Just clearing the energy. Let me clear the energy. Hang on a second. I feel the need to do that. Let me get some incense. You guys get your questions ready for her. Remember, you can ask her anything. Got to get my little tray. Just a second. All right, everybody. What we're also going to do, hi, oh my gosh, good to see you. We're so excited. We're just starting to talk to the goddesses. We have one of the Norse goddesses today, and her name is Skadi. I'll show you her picture. Here she is, and she's connected to wolves, Natalie, and everybody. Okay, everybody, so I'm feeling the need. Here's a couple things I want to talk to all of you about that I've been feeling like I need to do this week. And I want to talk to you guys about your own spiritual practices right now. And you let me know in the chat if has this been something you've been doing on keeping up with. But this week I redid all my wards around my house. So what are wards? Wards in witchcraft are symbols of protection and for your space. So wards can be, you can use different things to use as wards, but essentially what you're doing is you're taking that element, that essence, and you are enchanting it with your intention, and possibly you can pray over them, you can imbue them like with protection. I like to use black tourmaline, and I took my black tourmaline and I placed, I went through all of the different directions, north, south, east, and west, and then I called on my guides to cleanse the tourmaline, and then I went around all the four corners of my house, and then I set up my wards because they were telling me that my boundaries for my home were not set. So if you guys want to let me know in the comments, do you put up wards or what do you do to protect your home space? I just got a ringing in my ear for confirmation. And that's probably why a lot of these goddesses are coming through, is for us to really remember to protect ourselves, protect our energy, right? And to have boundaries, not just with people, but also with energy. Okay, so I want to talk to Scotty. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Anything that you think about, you can ask a message, right? You can ask for a message. You can ask for a message for yourself, but they have to be based on yes or no. Okay, let's try it a little. Okay, I know we miss our Natalie. She hasn't been here in a while. Busy mama. Okay, so I have protection for my office, but haven't done anything recently for my home. Okay, good. So there you go. So this will be a little indicator, for a little reminder. I don't use words, but I project light starting from the center and move it outward in the shape of a sphere with my intentions. That's great. I did that work forever. I love it. Good use of your energy, Nat. What about anybody else want to share how they protect their sacred space with energy? I definitely need to do this. Good. Oh, good to see you. Yes, I would say, wards. Some people do water wards. I've never done water wards before. I don't know much about them. Again, I'm still learning, but any protective stone would work, I think. And then when you set your intentions, I need wards, but you gritting and symbols, so perfect. You use that. That's amazing. I mean, I think also you could imbue it with sigils. You could make sigils for it and put those in paper and do around the four corners. I like putting it literally in the four corners, but yeah. So I would encourage you to check those out. You can look them up. Some of the resources you can Oh, good. Wind chimes. That's great. That's perfect. And also the other thing is you want to start to get to know if there are guardian spirits around where you live and in close proximity, and just be open and maybe leave them an offering of some water or, something that they might enjoy, right? And just asking for their help and protection. Okay, so I'm going to start. I want you guys to feel free to ask questions. So let's just make sure. Okay, so we're hoping to talk to Scotty. Scotty, can you let us know where you are located in comparison to me? What direction are you in, please? Yes, okay, to the left. Perfect. And then did you come forward today to give us a message of some type? Excellent. And then, are you of Germanic descent too? Would you say Germanic? I was hearing that. And have some people in the audience worked with you before in the past? Okay. And then are you know what's interesting is because Heber said something about grid work, and I feel like she's talking to me about grid work, and we're talking about let's think about what we're talking about. We're talking about boundaries, we're talking about protection. Are you good with do you work with grid work? Is that what I'm hearing you say? Okay. And would you be able to help people with their protection if they were working with you? Okay. We would love to know if someone was interested in working with you. It would be great to know more about best approach to take. Could we get in? Would you recommend? Hang on, let me just tap out my. Would you recommend anything that is in the written that we're getting about that? Let me get the name. Yeah, the Prousita. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, would you recommend the Prousita? Would that be something helpful? Okay. She's saying it's a good start. I know. It's true. We'll get warmed up. So, and then are you working with people with putting up armor? That's what I'm hearing. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And are you connected very much to Freya? Do you work with Freya? That's what I thought. I called, and did you hear me call on Freya to help me find my cat? Okay. And do you work with, okay, she's giving me a vision, which often this is what happens, everybody. They give you images and visions, and then you just ask questions. So would you help people like create a grid around their house and then have protection and then be able to communicate with any spirits around, things like that? Is that what we're saying? Okay. And do you act kind of like a warden or a gatekeeper of a home? Okay. And that would also be space, someone's space, workspace. Okay. Sacred space, she's saying. Sacred space. So that's really good. And do you work with anyone who has an open heart and who's respectful? Okay. So do they need to be Germanic or Norse? Just checking. All right. Is that a no? She said no. She's like, no. Did you see that? She's like putting it behind me. Wow. Look at that. I don't think I've had that in a while. So she takes any gender, any type of person, doesn't matter. Is that correct now? Will you take anyone? Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Now, are you connected to, we see you're connected to wolves. Would you say that you're connected to wolves? Okay. Do you also like dogs? Okay. And would you like people to like leave out something as far as like if they worked with you and they worked with you with altar, what kind of things do you like? Let's see. Do you like meat? All right. And then do you like some things to drink? Okay. This is funny because she's saying that she likes warming drinks because it's cold. So she actually said, she told me, and you don't, again, adapt it to what you would. Did you say you like scotch and bourbon? Go figure. Okay. All right. Because usually, then again, the Norse, they don't always have that. And she said she traveled, oh my gosh. So one of the things is some of the things she picked up, I think, is because some of the Norse and Germanic people traveled, as you know, to the British Isles, and they got some of their tastes. Would that be where it came from? And the meat, do you like jerky? Okay, so she likes jerky, she said. Because she said jerky you can take with you, like, you know, you can put in a pack when you're tracking. So she really feels like one of these, the Norse goddesses, most of them, I don't know if this is all, I don't know about Frigg, but Freya for sure. And then also Skadi, I think they really are very active and they are mobile. And so I feel like she's out kind of scouting. That's what it feels like. Do you like scouting? Okay, and you like looking out for hazards? That does make a lot of sense. Okay, so she likes looking out for, and this is interesting because this is exactly what I've been working on in my space. Okay, do you have a message for everybody for this month for their like personal growth and development? And what would you say, what category were you interested in talking to them about? Is it getting paid? Okay, no, it's not that. Does it have to do with being brave? That's not it. Okay, let's see. Feel free to let me know what it would be. You literally thought about spice whiskey. You're psychic. Just want to put that up there. Yep. And that makes sense because it's a warming. It's something that's warming. Wow. Okay. So this is what I'm getting. Are you talking to them about taking risks? Okay. So she's talking to you guys about taking risks in your lives. Okay. That's what I'm hearing. So she's mentioning to me that many of you are right on the edge. This is how she's showing it to me. She's saying there many of you are like right on the edge of something big and that you're just about to take the step. And you feel a little shaky. It's almost like if you were skydiving or if you are going to bungee jump or if you were going to, jump out of a plane, you're terrified, but it's the right thing to do. And this is what she's saying. Is that it? Okay. And she said, sometimes we work with goddesses because we need courage. And she's saying, and to detect things that would weaken us. Yeah. Okay. That's so interesting. Now let's talk more about how to venerate you now. So we know a little bit about, okay, can you tell us what day of the week you like? Because usually most gods, goddesses have a day of the week they prefer. Let's go through that. This is a good exercise. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Thursday? I already heard what it was. Is it Friday? Is it Saturday? So is this connected to the planet of Saturn? Okay, and does this have to do with rules and structure and regulations? Yep. And does this have to do with protection of assets? Okay. So did you guys hear that? So this is how they did it in the old days. Like they would go through and talk to the spirits and they'd ask them like, what day can we connect with you, right? And what are the correlations? What are the colors, right? Because those are all ways to connect with the spirit. So just to confirm, I think I heard you say Saturday. Is that right for Saturn Day? Okay. And then you do enjoy some kind of meat. So could it also be like lunch meat, easy? Okay. Yeah. All right. And then if you have something warming, yes. But she said she'd also take like a warming tea. If you didn't drink, you could do like just a warming tea. There's a lot of good warming teas. Okay. And then and to build a relationship with you, did you have other things that you appreciate? She's not fond of a lot of fancy things. That's what she's saying. She's a really kind of down to earth goddess. She likes things that you find like pine cones and, pine needles and things from trees. She's very connected in with trees because trees are also, remember, very connected in with sacred space, protection, something ancient, something lasting. Wow, she's really active. Look at her. Do you have specific trees that you really connect with or are associated with? Yes, you need to get them. Do you have specific trees you're connected with? I got a half a yes. So would you be connected to trees that you'd probably find in those climates you're mentioning, like the northern climates? And do you like pine trees? Trees of the forest, that's what she's saying. So that's an easy thing. You could get, pine needles. That's an easy thing. And then can people do spell work with you? Okay, are you guys ready? Are you taking notes? So obviously when you're learning to work with them, it'll be what it's going to be for you with them. It's always individual, but I'm feeling this with her, so I'm just trusting it like I do. And do you enjoy like road openers to help people? And then would you also like to do any kind of protection work? Okay, so things associated with Saturn, right? Structure, boundaries, right? Opening energies up. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. She said you could really go down a rabbit hole. But she also has like kind of she has a sense of humor for sure. She's not she's an easy spirit to talk to, and it really feels like that. Okay, she wants me to pull some cards from the Sacred Forest tracks, right? Tracks, that tracks. And did you want me to pull some for divination now? Okay, thank you. All right, you guys with me? Anybody have any questions who might be new to this process? Please feel comfortable to ask questions. It's new for some of us, right? Hang on. Oh, I may need this, she said. All right, so let's just do a little bit. This is the beginning of the month, right? So we want to do maybe a spread. She wants a spread that she can find in this oracle deck. So let's see that's what she's telling me. Let's see what she has planned here for us. Also, to let everybody know, if you did want to get a reading tonight, my list would be open. So if anybody does want to do that, you're more than welcome. And the readings are just $30. But here we go. So lately, I have to tell you guys, Hecate gave me a tarot spread, and I've been doing it. And this reminds me of it. So this is the 4 directions spread. We have an east card, south card, west card, north card. For Hecate, we're doing it differently because, this is not for her today, but she's been telling me to do it with air, earth, water, fire. She's a goddess. So we have east card. So the east card represents the rising of the sun and represents springtime. This card reveals what's beginning in your life. That's the first card. Then we have the second card, which is the summertime card, right? This reveals what is expanding. And then we have the west card, which represents the setting sun, which is what you're harvesting or gathering. And then we have the north card, reveals what you need to work, to nurture and consolidate, okay? And what you need to repair and heal. So shall we get started? Isn't this fun? Now I'm going to use Odin as the place card opener. Okay, so let's pull 4 cards. I'm excited. This is cool. Also, on a note, can I just tell you guys something? I'm going to start talking to you guys soon about plant allies. I'm not going to today. I'm not well versed enough, but I was getting this hit that I should, when I worked with one of my mentors last year, we talked about plant allies, and I've just kind of put it to the wayside. But now Hecate has been really encouraging me to narrow my focus with what my own personal practice is. And then one of them would be having one plant ally. Do you guys want to know who the plant ally is? I'm going to give you one guess. I'll tell you one thing. I live in the Northwest, right? And this is something I found. It's in my front yard, and I'm going to show you a picture of it. Are you ready? And there it is. That's cracking me up because I just literally it's a fern. And I literally just was told 2 days ago that my plant ally is what? A fern. And I just opened that. Welcome. And in here, it says, enter a secret dimension to discover the truth of your soul, right? I know I looked at it. Okay, guys, let's get into it. So we have 4 cards we're pulling. Yeah, isn't that cray? That's kind of cray. That's a little cray, even for me. But they're trying to really show me, like, Hecate is working with me very, like she's coming in. She's training me, essentially. Okay, here we go. Plant allies. You can open up to yourself and ask, who is my plant ally? And then, there's education around that, of course, too. She was showing up for me in my mind's eye hang on, there's a comment about Hecate in my eye, very much like a Game of Thrones character. Oh, yeah, Scotty, absolutely. Just looked at some of the images and I'm like, I know, right? That makes so much sense. That's Scotty. That does make a lot of sense. So much sense. Okay, guys, here we go. Scotty. Well, it really does make sense. I mean, for me personally, it makes sense because of my personality and also of what my interests are that, it tracks. All right, so let's pick it. So we're first going with, let me make sure I've got the order right. So we have east, south, west, north. Okay, so let's pick the east card first, please. East, south, west, north. East, south, west, north. Let's see what we got. So east. You ready, guys? This is the place of the rising sun and represents springtime. The card reveals what's beginning in your life, what needs to begin, or what you need to search for or explore. So what are we getting? And I'll read it. Shut up. This is just everything that is happening right now is like smack, smack, smack. What did we say? Put it in the chat. What did we say her animal was? Anybody? Moonlight, enchantment, magic. What is that? It's a wolf. Scotty's coming in hot. Okay. A wolf. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, so hang on, let me grab it. There we go. All right, that's pretty spectacular. Amazing. Let's read a little bit about that. So this is, again, reveals what's beginning in our life. Amaze. Amaze. Exactly. 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 Wolves. First card out of the gate, y'all. A wolf. What do we know about wolves? A lot of things. So here we go. Oh, shut up. Okay, I just have to be the student for a minute, okay? Here we go. The lingering howl of a wolf weaves its way through the night air. The brightness of the full moon bathes the entire forest with a silvery light. Fairies and elves and spirits of fauna and flora arise from a joyous night of celebration. The forest is alight with glee. Here we go. Here's what it is. First of all, magic is all around you. The veil between the worlds is very thin. Fairies, elves, angels, spirit beings are just a thought away. It is indeed a magical universe. And the key to opening the doors to those realms is to trust. All may not be as it seems by the protective light of the moon. The magic of the universe surrounds you, even though it is dark. The light of the moon shows you the way, reminding you to trust what you feel. You are safe. Even if you can't see, have faith that you are being supported in mysterious and wondrous ways by unseen beings in the accordance with your highest good. Yes, and here it is. The spirit of moonlight enchantment says, believe in magic. You are being given powerful mystical messages from spirit. Take time to listen. Allow the luminescent, receptive energy of the moon to activate your creativity. You receive mystical messages and you are a spiritual messenger for others. Well, that's pretty great. Okay, again, let's look at what that's for. Just give me a second. I lost it. Oracle cards as portals, and that is true. And that is true. Oh my goodness, did I lose it already? Hang on. Stick with me, kids. These spreads are so good. Okay, so anyway, this, one sec, friends. I'm almost there. Okay, here's the page. Here's the page. Here's the page. Okay. Hang on. Sorry, this is like I'm in my own living room. Here we go. Thank you. Page 27. Okay, this represents, this card reveals what's beginning in your life, what needs to begin, or what you need to start search and explore for. I feel like this has a lot to do with just creation, manifestation, if you do magic or not, spell work. And I mean, if that doesn't tell you right there, there was so much evidence right there in that one card. I'm blown away. Okay. The next thing we have is the South represents the sun and summertime. This card reveals what's expanding in your life. This is what you should be growing and working towards. And that's where we have fire spirit energy. Just look at that. For me already, I tell you that has to do with passion, drive, inspiration, the things you're creating and manifesting. And that's what should be growing in your life. Absolutely beautiful. Then we have what the West card. The West represents the setting sun and also the seasons of autumn. This card reveals what you're harvesting or gathering. It can also represent what you need to release or clutter out of your life. This is interesting because we have the bee and then we have prosperity. Okay, so this is more of an indication is as you do things like clean things up, literally. This could be in your house. This can, oh, I know, I'm glad. A lot of confirmations, right? Emma's like, call me out. So what this has so much to do really with, in order to create prosperity in your life, you need to clear up energy. That and also can be in your home space. Okay, I am hearing that. So think about that. Okay, friends. Then the last one here we have is the North, representing the dark of the night and the season of winter. This card reveals what you need to consolidate or nurture and is also what you need to repair. This is important because the word that comes through on this one is trust. So that would be trusting spirit. Trusting spirit, trusting what your creations, trusting the process, right? And giving yourself that. It's such a beautiful card. I am so thrilled. I'm going to leave this card out because this is also a little bit for Scotty's message. So I'm going to leave that out. One thing I'm going to do before we end is I'm trying to listen to things in the language they're in. So I'm going to be getting, what I'm going to do with this right now, I am going to ask Google Translate how to say her name. And so stick with me and that way we can all hear it. So I think it's important to do that. Okay. Okay. How to pronounce Skadi. Okay, here we go. Turn it up. All right. How to pronounce Skadi in English. All right, here we go. You guys ready? So if you're learning about names and you don't speak the language, and that could be in like Gaelic, that can be Old Grecian, that is Scandinavian, different dialects, Old Norse. It's good to hear it.
Scatty.
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 Scatty. One more time.
Scatty.
Okay, so it's not Scotty, it's Scatty. A woman. I was going to say amen, a woman. Okay, that was beautiful. Did you guys enjoy that? I loved it. All right, so let's continue. So I'm going to just give one more call to see if anybody did want to possibly get on the list to get a reading before I move on. Hang on. I'm going to do one more thing in honor of her because, so I don't use it that much, but this is my runes deck. It is an oracle deck. I mostly use an actual rune, as most of you guys know if you're in the Goddess Rising membership. I also want to let people know a few things that I have going on while I'm doing this. In September, I have an 8-week gorgeous sacred feminine container that I'm running. And it's really for the woman who wants to really step onto her path, wants to work deeply on healing and also connecting with her spiritual nature, but also clear out energy, knowing that she needs to be held in a space where there'll be deep healing and activations from the space how I run things, right? You want one? I love it. You want to get a reading? Absolutely. You can Ashley, you know what? You can just pay me later because I know where you live. Does that sound good? You can just pay me later. Let me know what you want me to focus on. Okay, let me do first, finish by doing this. Right? I know where you live. I do actually know where you live. Okay, let me go ahead. All right, let's just get a message from the runes, again from Scatty. Usually when I do any runes, I pick 3 because lunch on you, exactly. All right, friends. So I always do 3, okay? 3 together because they string together to kind of tell a story. So we have Evas, that's the first one. You'll notice that symbol. We have Dagas, and then we have Lugas. Okay, let me tell you about these. Okay, so basically, Evas is endurance, strength, and stability. So if you think about that, because that's what Scatty was talking about, right? Is to be tough, to have grit, to have that strength, and because it's going to be tough. But also then we have Degas, which is breakthrough and enlightenment. And it's because you're at this place where you're just about to have a breakthrough. And so you're going to need the strength because it's not going to be easy. And then the final one is Lagus, which is water, fluidity, emotions. So this is such a perfect analogy and a great way to look at the runes. You can see the symbols and how they're telling you the story. So they're really talking about this month being a tough month, that you're going to have to step up to the plate and go off the edge of the diving board because you are at the point where you're letting go of old things. And in order for the new part of you to emerge, it's going to take some of that grit. But then once that's done, you're into this place of, again, we have the Lagus, which is fluidity, emotions, healing, more of the divine feminine. Okay, guys? Now, just for fun, I'm going to leave these 3 up with her this week as well because she did a great job with us. Okay, and then we're going to get into Ashley's reading. All right, and again, the readings are just $30 each if you decide you want to do one. In this case, while we're doing it now, you can ask a couple questions. A little different because I'm really trying to build things up over here. TikTok's been a little bit of a nutty over there lately, more than normal. So let me go ahead and get organized here. And then we'll get started. If anybody wants a reading, just let me know. Okay, so Ashley, what are we wanting to focus on? What are we looking at? And for everybody here, I am going to be doing another draw at the end. And also, I know I like the vibe on, I love YouTube. Um, I am obsessed with YouTube in a good way. And I'm really trying to build up some things over here. I have like, it's not an easy, it's not that it's difficult, but it's different because it's like a slow thing that you have to really learn about how this app works. It's different. It's not like anything else. And it's, you have to put out a certain kind of, like, you have to put out quality videos. It doesn't have to be on the best camera, but it has to be, then there's a lot of steps to it. So, yeah, I've been doing it heavily since like January, and you know, it takes a while. So let me know what you want to focus on, girly. And if you guys want me to pull cards for you later, I'll definitely pull an oracle card for everybody. And then also, like I said, I'm going to be giving away something at the end, as I always do. So feel free. Okay, gotta start actively applying for jobs in Texas. Okay, let's put your question up on the board. Okay, looking for direction given physical limits. I know it. Future entrepreneur goals for my functional medicine and real estate. Oh, okay. So I don't know, some job, like, okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so probably what you're wanting, I'm imagining, doesn't even have to be nursing. Because I was thinking about, you know, the job that you just had. Well, I know a little bit about Ashley, just so you know. That would be nice to manifest. So what do we need to know? Because you manifested a great job while you were here. And so what do we need to know about that? Like, what's the information? And then how, so that you can still build the bridge to your heart business, meaning the job. That's what we're wanting. I love that for you. Love that for you. All right, guys. All right, all right, all right. Also, I'm going to do a little challenge this month while we're starting this. You ready? Here's the challenge. I'm just starting it now. Whoever comes to every single one of my live streams this month will be put in the running for a full deck, a full-size deck of tarot or oracle, your choice. Okay. And I'll give you some choices, and it'll be one of my high-end decks that I have, and you get to pick. So if you'll be put in the running for that. So make sure you show up. Okay, so let's just take a look at what do you need to know to manifest that. What's the energy? What do you need to do? Put the puzzle pieces together. Okay. So right away, what we're really getting for you is networking, networking, networking. The energy looks really good in the air. Yay. So networking, networking, networking. The Three of Cups is really coming through. So it feels to me like, and you're probably already doing this, get out there on LinkedIn, talk to the people that you know. You're going to be your energy is different now, and you'll be there. So you'll be able to, like, maybe go into different places more so in person to meet people is what I'm getting. Kind of like you did here, so people can feel your connection. Also, the Page of Swords is, you know, she's pointing you in the direction and really being clear on next steps for you, right? At the same time, what I love about her is that she's cutting through anything that is unnecessary that wouldn't be for your highest good. So she's you know, pointing you in the direction. She's also being mindful of like connections you already have and what you can use to move forward today. Does that make sense? Good. So you want to make sure that you also, the Page of Swords likes to write things down. So she's going to get super clear for you on what is it that you want, you know, what is it that you want? What is it you don't want? And what did you like about this last job you had that was perfect and how you felt? It doesn't have to be the same job, but you can let your guides know that. And you want to talk about how you want to feel in the job. Okay, that's something I'm really, really getting for you. You want to talk about how you want to feel, like write it out. Here's the good thing is the likely outcome of you getting the setup you want is very good. You pulled in the King of Pentacles here. Yay! I know, very chill vibes. So you pulled in the King of Pentacles here with the Queen of Swords. That is an incredible combination. So you have that, the Libra, Aquarius, vision ahead of you, but the King of Pentacles, who we know is a manifesting energy and really able, he knows how to create what he wants stability wise. He knows how, he'll take his time. He's patient. He is he's enterprising in the sense of he knows the direction he wants to go in and then what he wants to create, what he wants to invest in. So putting that together, I really will say one of the things I'm getting very clearly is to make sure that you're writing down what you want. You've already done this. You just did this by what you're coming from now. You created that. So you have that to go on. I'm going to see if there's anything sabotaging you or coming up that you need to just be aware of. Yes. So the biggest thing is, first of all, write this down because your number sequence from your angel numbers is 3. 333. That's your number. You've gotten 3 in here. You've gotten 3 times, literally. You just pulled the 3 times. Okay. So that's significant because that has to do with growth and networking and community. Now, here's what I want to say. This is literally a card of work, building, right? You see the 222 all the time. I know, I love 222. That's my other favorite. So, and then you're moving on from 222 to 333. Significant. Think about that. So, here's what I want to say. 3 of Pentacles is a working card to create something together under the same roof, right? So you want to make sure in that it's showing that you do have a really good chance because you are able to collaborate and to be able to connect. The only thing is you have the 3 of Wands in reverse. So if we look at the 3 of Wands in reverse and then we go back to the 2 of Wands, we can say they're telling me something about when you're going in to decide the initiation of some of these jobs, don't take the ones that are not if you don't feel excited about it, don't apply for it. That's what I'm hearing. You want it to feel a sense of expansion in your energy, or at least like it feels like this is a good fit, even if it's a good fit for a year, right? Anything coming up we need to be aware of. Eight of Pentacles reverse, 9 of Swords. So we might have a little bit of a feeling of displacement, a feeling of worry that things won't work out, subconscious stuff. So do what you can to work on that. I would say, if you have anxiety in the middle of the night or if it comes up, make sure to maybe listen to a meditation that clears out your subconscious, that makes you feel like you're going backwards, that makes you feel like I don't know what to pick. I mean, that's kind of one of the culprits, right? It does that. I feel like you need to air it out with your guides. That's what they're telling me. Airing things out with your guides. And make sure you share it with them when you're struggling, because they can really help. Like when you feel anxious or uncertain, ask them for their help. Okay, is there any message from her guides, please? Let's get that. Did you have any other questions you want to ask about that I didn't answer? Yeah, your guides are basically saying your own worst enemy, 4 of Wands and the Devil card, is that you move into a mode of overdoing it or feeling like you have to go back to your old ways and when you're not sure. Give yourself space that your manifestation may not come in straight away, but it doesn't mean anything's wrong. Oh, okay, good. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's look at those 2 locations and see what we get. What do we need to know about those 2? So, Mansfield. Okay, good. I'm glad. So Mansfield or Corsicana. Well, let's first look at Corsicana. opposite. Okay, Corsicana. Okay, let's look at Mansfield. I'll go into it and show you what I got too. Okay. If I'm looking at something that I think is a little bit better, I want to say I feel like Mansfield's a little bit better. The main reason is because with Corsicana, we got the starting, which is Ace of Pentacles. That's a very good sign of beginning, something new, a start. But then we got Hangman. Hangman is a pause. It means it's non-movement. It's emotionally being stunted. But then it's also by the Five of Cups where we have grief and regret. And feeling a little bit lost. Now, I don't know if you have a history of living there before or anything. Maybe you don't. But that's the feeling that I'm getting and the message that's coming through. Whereas the other one I'm a little more excited about because we have the King of Cups, which is you're a cups yourself. You're a Queen of Cups. That's your hometown. Laugh out loud. Tracks. So I'm getting the King of Cups here, okay, which is your new one. And then, but this is also you being in your masculine, being able to be yourself, but also possibly maybe there's more relationship energy there. And then 10 of Wands is like, completing of a cycle, getting to the place where you're completing. And then you have 2 of Swords in reverse, which means a clear decision. When it's in reverse, it's good. Okay, over these 2, can you tell me what we need to know? Okay, so I don't want to just flip a card out until I've asked the question. Thanks. So can you please clearly tell me which is the better fit? If I'm looking at with a decisiveness, first Corsicana. Okay, and then Mansfield, please. Your mom's happy you're moving. That's what I just heard. Okay. Right, that's unclear. Can you please give me and clarify what that means? Okay, so these are very subtle differences. So to be honest with you, I think probably if you move back to your hometown, the main thing is you'd have to clear up any emotional energy there, right? But with the new location, it's not like it is 100% absolutely the right thing. There's still a little bit of energy we need to clear up because I feel like you moving back to Texas makes you take pause, especially with relationship stuff. So you'd want to work on clearing that up. That comes up in both places because we got the 2 of Cups in reverse, even for Mansfield, which is like holding your heart close to you, not wanting anybody near you. And then the Knight of Cups kind of shows me maybe this was connected to relationship stuff from the past. In your hometown, we have the 2 of Pentacles, which is you're deciding. But I also was getting this feeling of like 6 1/2 dozen or another. That's what I was hearing. Does that make sense? I love that. So interesting. That's what I've been feeling. I lived there. So I lived there before and I loved it, but was wondering if I should go home for family. It's an hour away from, wow. Oh my gosh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a tough one because you've got your family and it's sometimes the practical thing. So let's just do a last thing of like, if you live there, how bad would that be? Yeah, I kind of feel like being at home is not the one to do because that 5 of Cups came up again, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just feel like the 5 of Cups is coming up, which kind of makes me feel squelched. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps you, friend. Yay! So here's the thing. Trust what you're getting. And I would say definitely, yes, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. So everybody that's still here, if you're still here, just put an emoji in the chat. And then I think I'm going to pick a number or an emoji. We'll have to see. And then I'm going to be giving away one small oracle deck, which I always give, or a tarot deck. That's a small one I do every time. I love that you put the sunflower in there. I love the sunflower. I know, it's my favorite. Ashley, I want to tell you tomorrow at Soulful, they're closing the street down. We are doing, they're doing a fair. I'm going to be doing readings outside. I'm going to have a little booth. Kind of excited about it. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to be there from like 10:30 to 4. I'll be doing readings. Okay, Sinister Days. So it looks like, I know we have more people in here, but Sinister Days, I think I'm going to gift you an oracle deck or a tarot deck. Can you do me a favor and just email me your full name, address, and I'm going to send that to you. Thank you for being here today. So I just want to thank everybody for coming today. And if you guys are here too, let me know in the comments or when you're listening to this later, do you enjoy the format of this live stream? Would you like to see anything else in the live stream? So, I just know I think I'm going based upon what I think people enjoy. I enjoy it. So if you ever want to maybe put a different spin on the live stream, we can do different things. We can talk about different topics. We can do different types of readings, things like that. So everybody can let me know. I hope everyone has an amazing, blessed weekend. That's what I'm hearing. This was wonderful. I enjoyed this tremendously. Ashley, thank you. I'm glad, Amber. Thank you. I thought you did. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I enjoy it. And, the thing about it is that we are learning at the same time, right? I know the dowsing rods. I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad. Yeah, if you think of anything, let me know. Because I feel like I enjoy it so much, but I want to make sure you guys are enjoying it too. And there's still, it's still quiet over here on YouTube. It is fine. It'll grow over time. Good. I'm so glad. But you guys can let me know. Don't feel like don't feel at all like you have to, because I'm doing it, that you need to keep, doing it. You can always say, hey, can we try this too? That's always fun. Well, I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much. I love when you come in. It means so much to me. And we had more people here than we have had this time at our height. So that was good. We had a good little growth going on. So I want to thank you all. I'm sending you so much love. I'll send those out. Amber, I know I owe you one too. And then we'll get your deck sent out on Monday. All right, everybody. Thanks a bunch. We will see you soon. Take care.